former President Trump, who is blitzing states in the Rust Belt and overnight making a promise about IVF. Selena Wang is in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where Trump held a town hall.
This was awesome. We've skipped socialism. We're at communism. Kamala Harris. Anyway, but also let's talk about Trump's flip-flop on IVF and abortion.
All last night. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Donald Trump is trying to rebrand his image on women's reproductive rights in order to shake up this race, claiming that he would make IVF treatment free without giving any details on how that would work.
Overnight, Donald Trump floats a striking new proposal as he suddenly tries to rebrand himself on women's reproductive rights, an issue that he knows could hurt him at the polls in November. Trump claiming that he would make in vitro fertilization free if elected without providing any specifics on how he would pay for this costly plan or enact it.
Under the Trump administration, your government will pay for.
I love the one speed mainstream media has on this, where immediately they're like, well, how could they pay for it? I swear to God, every goddamn news broadcaster, editor in this fucking nation, when they see a good policy, immediately they go, how will they pay for it? When they see a bad policy, they never ask it. Ain't nobody asking about how we're going to pay for the fucking border bill. Ain't nobody asking how we're going to pay for like 20 additional trillions of dollars in baby murder weapons for Israel. But the moment that like even Trump falsely fucking claims he's going to do this thing that he's not going to do, okay, immediately, how will we pay for it? Like they're so conditioned to being like, oh, that sounds like good policy to me. Got to shoot that down immediately. Just tackle the issue on the front that he's not going to do it. Like he's not a serious person. That's it. Tackle the issue on his flip-flopping if you want to do that. But no, they're like, how will they pay for it?
Or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for all costs associated with IVF treatment.
IVF can cost tens of thousands of dollars, with nearly 90,000 babies born in the U.S. through fertility treatments each year.
We want to produce babies in this country, right? We want to produce babies.
Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign telling ABC News Donald Trump's own platform could effectively ban IVF and abortion nationwide. Trump lies as much, if not more, than he breathes. But voters aren't stupid. Trump making this proposal despite repeatedly bragging about appointing 3 of the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade, opening the door to new restrictions for fertility treatments.
We broke Roe v. Wade, and we did something that nobody thought was possible. We gave it back to the states.
Earlier this year, Alabama's Supreme Court declared frozen embryos human beings entitled to full rights, causing fertility clinics across the state to shut down for weeks. A new poll finding Harris has a 16-point advantage over Trump on who voters trust more to handle the issue of abortion. In his own home state of Florida, Trump now saying he opposes the state's ban on abortion at 6 weeks, before most women even know they're pregnant.
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. He's woke. He went woke now. Or perhaps he is trying to desperately swing in the opposite direction, knowing full well how bad it looks for him, because this is an issue that the Democrats have actively campaigned on. Reluctantly, mind you, but they were forced to campaign on it eventually because there was too much popular momentum in that direction. Now, imagine if the Democrats did that same thing for any number of different issues that are plaguing American society. Healthcare comes to mind. Donald Trump literally is changing trajectory on a key issue here. He's going to flip-flop again on it, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, a better future, a better tomorrow is possible, chat. Okay? That's it. Obviously, he's not, like, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, no one fucking trusts him. But the exact mirror opposite of this is happening with immigration.
Trump contradicting his own statements that the issue of abortion should be left to the states. But Trump's campaign attempting to appease his anti-abortion base, later saying he has not yet decided how he will vote. He simply reiterated that he believes 6 weeks is too short.
Over the years, Donald Trump has flip-flopped on the issue of abortion, but his focus on IVF is clearly an attempt to blunt Harris's attacks that he would rip away women's reproductive freedoms. Rebecca?
And Selena, there's also a new ABC News Ipsos poll out overnight. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Rebecca, that's right. In a new ABC News Ipsos poll, it finds that only 29% say that Trump is prepared to accept the outcome of this election. But Trump's election denialism also resonates with some voters. Despite there being no evidence of widespread voter fraud, 1 in 3 say they are not confident that votes will be accurately counted in this election. Rebecca?
All right, Selena, thank you.
Don't hit down.
You've been listening to Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania, the former president there speaking with supporters shortly after saying that he will be voting to keep Florida's 6-week abortion ban in place. Now, this comes just a day after he suggested that he opposed the 6-week ban. Let's bring in CNN's Jason Carroll. He is there at the Trump rally in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Also with us is CNN fact checker Daniel Dale. So, Jason, walk us through what Trump said yesterday and now what he and the campaign are saying today.
Well, as you recall, it was yesterday when this subject matter was brought up in an interview. Trump seemed to suggest that he was not satisfied, not happy with the 6-week time frame.
Is there is there a law that we're not privy to? Kind of like the Fairness Act or whatever, where both candidates have to literally make the same exact mistakes on other issues, but like the exact same mistakes in terms of messaging. Because it kind of feels like it's a race to the bottom. Like, on the one hand, Trump is like, yeah, I love abortion, actually. Just kidding, I hate abortion. And like, on the other hand, that's what the Democrats are doing on immigration. Like, is there like a secret rule where like they have to do that when one side triggers this flip-floppy ass sentiment, the other side also has to respond in kind for whatever their weakest issue is? This is why I was saying it's like it's Freaky Friday out here. Kamala Harris is like, I literally will kill migrants. Like, I am the #1 migrant killer. Okay? It's my favorite thing to do. Sometimes I just, sometimes I just sit up next to the border wall with a fucking AR-15 and I take crack shots in the direction of like whatever Venezuelan is coming over that wall. Okay? That's what I do. And they're like, well, in 2019, you said like no immigrants should be illegal. Like, and you said that border crossings should be continued to be prosecuted as a civil penalty. He's like, no, you don't understand. I want to kill migrants. And then on the other hand, you got Trump being like, abortion is murder. They want to kill the babies. They want to kill the babies after birth. That's why I stopped it. And then being like, just kidding. Actually, I think that 6 weeks is far too short. We should let abortions happen. It's not murder anymore. And we should let abortions happen until like, I don't know, some other time frame that I will not be specifying. Only to turn around and be like, that was the, when I'm fucked up, that's the real me. That was yesterday's me. Let's not look at that. I was kidding. Abortion is still murder.
On that 6-week abortion ban that's in place, saying that it is simply too restrictive. But he left the door open. He wasn't specific in terms of would he support overturning it? Would he give any more specifics in terms of timing? Just a short while ago, he gave an interview to Fox News where he once and for all was very clear in terms of where he stands. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Are you voting yes or no on Amendment 4 in Florida?
So I think 6 weeks, you need more time than 6 weeks. I've disagreed with that right from the early primaries. When I heard about it, I disagreed with it. At the same time, the Democrats are radical because the 9 months is just a ridiculous situation where you can do an abortion in the 9th month. And, you know, some of the states like Minnesota and other states have it where you could actually execute the baby after birth. And all of that stuff is unacceptable. So I'll be voting no for that reason.
Oh,
So a couple of things there. He says he will be voting
pussy. Oh, what happened? He got pushed, huh?
no for that reason. But to have to do a little bit of fact checking here, once again, we should just make it very clear. It is illegal in every state in the nation to kill a baby after it's born. I mean, something like that should go without saying, but we have to keep repeating it because the former president keeps repeating that false claim. But again, at least now we have some clarity in terms of where Trump stands on this 6-week abortion ban in the state of Florida. He is now saying he does not support it and he would vote no. Back to you.
Yeah, and important clarification, fact check there. And for more fact checking, let's bring in Daniel Dale. So, Daniel, what have you heard in these different sets of remarks by Trump?
He just keeps telling the same lies over and over, Alex. So not only this post-birth execution nonsense that we just heard a very good fact check of, but he also claimed the 2020 election was rigged. We've been hearing that since 2020. It remains a lie. He claimed that he signed an old law in 2020 that gave an automatic 10-year prison sentence to anyone who did so much as touch a monument during protests. He did not sign any new law or an old law on that subject, didn't sign anything. He issued an executive order calling on the DOJ to enforce existing laws, so nothing new. He repeated his nonsense about Venezuela and the Congo emptying prisons to allow criminals to come here as migrants. There is no proof for that in either case, and both the Democratic Republic of Congo and the neighboring Republic of Congo have told me it is completely false. He said that the numbers of people we lost to drugs are fake, and it's probably 350,000 per year. The official number is about 110,000 last year, and while experts have told me there is likely some undercount, there is no reasonable way to get as high as 300,000, the figure he used to use, let alone the 350,000 he used today. One expert told me this is a, quote, made-up number. Alex?
Yeah, Donald Trump bringing reproductive rights right back to the center of this campaign. Daniel Dale, Jason Carroll, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Let's get more on this with our political experts. Priscilla Alvarez, I want to start with you. This is a pretty remarkable turnaround from yesterday. The one thing he said that was the same both yesterday and today is that you need more time, basically more than 6 weeks for this abortion ban. But today making it clear that he would vote against overturning it.
I mean, this tells you everything you need to know about how high of an issue this is for voters going into November. And it is also going to be used by the Harris campaign, which I have been following. In fact, the vice president at the beginning of this year started a reproductive rights tour. I was at her first stop, and this was a notable moment at the time because it's been a galvanizing issue for Democrats, and they were assigning it to her to essentially be the voice on it. In Arizona, she had a rally there, and she called it the Trump abortion ban. She coined that term, and that was it. After that, they used it repeatedly. And it's these types of moments that they seize on to remind voters about what they say is Trump essentially allowing for these abortion bans, for being in this position in the first place because of the Supreme Court and the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So the campaign doing more of this.
What the fuck was that noise? Tim Walz 95 Ankara metro istasyonunda bana crack sattı. Dude, I have the weirdest fucking chatters, man. Like, actually. This chatter is saying in Turkish that Tim Walz in 1995 at the Ankara metro station sold them crack.
soon with a reproductive rights bus tour with at least 50 stops. So clearly a big issue.
Yeah, where they will certainly continue to hammer him on this. Josh Dawsey, I want to go to you. You obviously follow the former president and his campaign very closely. How much do you think this back and forth over this specific Florida amendment shows
Damn, dog.
that...
Sit up. What the fuck? Be a little bit more fucking presentable, homie. What the hell? I don't even give a fuck about the optics or whatever, the aesthetics, but god damn, son. Who the fuck?
The former president is really having a tough time here, trying to navigate this new era of post-Roe politics that he really helped create.
Yeah, he's having a tough time with this one because when he instituted it could be left up to the states. Trump saw that as a way to basically not have to take a position himself. Some of his advisors were pushing him to do 15-week ban, a 16-week national ban. He didn't want to take a position to himself.
Bro looks like a munchkin, dude. What the fuck? I can't get over it. I'm sorry.
But because Florida is a state where he lives and he votes, this 6-week ban now he has to take a position on it. And when Florida did the 6-week ban on the campaign trail when Ron DeSantis was running for president, Trump immediately thought it was a huge mistake from DeSantis. He told folks, I don't get why he's doing it. What is he doing there? That's not going to be popular. That was his first original take. And he criticized that ban because he wanted to go after DeSantis. DeSantis he viewed as his political opponent, right? And he said, I don't think this ban makes sense. Then you saw the pro-life community come back pretty fiercely, deeply concerned that he was taking on a bill that would limit abortions in Florida, something that they want to do very much. So really,
Did you see his fucking goon? Holy shit, Trump's fucking look at this.
Abortions in Florida, something that they want to do very much.
He got a fucking ass on him, dude.
Concerned that he was taking on a bill that would limit abortions in Florida.
He's like, yeah, y'all union lungheads better not try some fucking shit. I'm the most tactical man in this goddamn arena. That's so funny. He is so hench. He is the most henchman coded person I've ever seen.
They want to do very much. So really for the last year or so, you've seen Trump vacillate on this issue, meeting with various groups, meeting with various activists, trying to do a more, a place where he doesn't have to support things like he's having to do today.
And Charlie Dent, in terms of his difficulties in walking this line, when you hear Trump saying that he will now vote to keep the 6-week Florida abortion ban in place, is that a recognition by the former president that he was facing significant blowback from the right flank?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Donald Trump, has unfixed policy positions, and they shift constantly, and no more on the issue of abortion. And I think the GOP recognizes that it is in an unsustainable position on the abortion issue that they need to moderate. So I think Trump is correct by trying to moderate the position of the party. The problem that he has, of course, is that he's like the proverbial arsonist trying to extinguish the abortion fire he helped start. And so he doesn't have a lot of credibility on this issue.
CNN has so many former Republicans. Yeah, they love that shit. God damn, CNN loves former Republicans. They love having current Republicans too. They love having former Republicans, current Republicans. They just love Republicans. At a certain point, you got to realize they are totally fucking locked in.
I was one of the last pro-choice Republican members of the House Republican Conference in Washington, and I've been sounding this alarm for some time that the party was not in a good place, that these positions, these 6-week bans and other sorts of policies were very unpopular and were damaging the GOP and certainly widening a gender gap, particularly with women. So I think the party's in a bad spot, and Trump is trying to fix it, but he is simply the wrong messenger on this.
Isn't that normal for a news source, having people from both sides? Brother, first of all, the American political spectrum is far more expansive than having 3 former Republicans on a fucking panel and 1 Democrat or 1 leaning liberal, especially when you're supposed to be CNN. Okay? What the fuck is What's wrong with chatters, man? Like, ain't nobody says this about Fox News, bro. They say this is the communist news network. They say it's the Clinton news network. And you're like, but I don't get it. Like, of course, they're supposed to have some Republicans. It's all they have, dude.
This issue. So in the pro-life community, I think they've miscalculated terribly. They cut a deal with a very transactional man, Donald Trump, and now they're shocked. They're shocked that he is now somehow coming back to a pro-choice position, not only on the 6-week bill, but he's also endorsed, or he's not going to do anything to try to stop the movement of abortion drugs across state lines. And so they're unhappy with him. What they're finding out, though, that Right to Life movement is that many Republican voters don't have that strongly held a position on this.
What do you mean? They have right-wing and left-wing Republicans. Yeah. They represent both sides of the political spectrum very well. They have conservatives from all different walks of life. What more could you want from CNN? They have former Republicans. They have current Republicans. They have Republicans in name only. They have they have all different kinds of Republicans. Some of them are literally square.
This issue, at least for these types of extreme policies.
Megan Hayes, let me bring you in. So Trump has been purposefully vague, trying to play both sides, trying to really straddle this line for quite some time now. Now he's quite firm that he's going to try to keep this 6-week ban in place in terms of at least the Florida amendment. Pick up where Priscilla left off in terms of how you expect the Harris campaign to seize on this.
Well, he's firm today, so we'll see what he says tomorrow because it's chaos. But I think what the Harris campaign is doing is they're picking up and they're going, this issue is very important to women. And it's very important to these independent women in these battleground states where this election is going to be decided. And they are playing it smart, and they always have. This is a super popular issue, and it polls really high. The Harris campaign is leading in the polls by 20 points with women. Those are the people who are going to decide this election. When you're talking 10,000 votes in these states, that's a major pickup. And then if he's going to isolate his base and he's going to, maybe people won't turn out. So every vote matters in these battleground states. And so they are capitalizing on an issue that's extremely important to Democrats. And it's not just women, it's also men who live with these, who have moms and sisters and daughters. So he's just, when he's trying to muddy the waters and continue to go back and forth, it doesn't do anything but help Democrats and help the Harris campaign.
Some confusion over former President Donald.
See what J.D. Vance had to say about Trump's new remark about abortion in Florida? Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. We have to watch this. I'm sorry. J.D. Vance went on CNN to defend Donald Trump again, and it is hilarious. Also, before we get to that, here's Donald Trump saying, perhaps we should give Kamala Harris a Make America Great Again hat.
So, Kamala was for defunding the police. She was for the open borders. She was for everything that you're not against. I could go through 14 different. She's changed on every single one of them. In fact, I think we should see the man in the red hat and the beautiful woman in the red hat says, Make America Great Again. Perhaps we should give Kamala a Make America Great Again hat, right?
So no census today then? No.
So Kamala was.
What the fuck is the Dilly War Machine or whatever?